Not guilty on all major charges.
We're disappointed and frankly shocked.
The verdict in the Dr. Corasanti trial surprises some.
You've got 12 jurors, and you never know what you're going to find out when they go in there, and it's the American system.
And angers many.
It's disheartening. It's an embarrassment.
Especially those who knew the young victim well.
Justice was not served.
But the defense maintains this is not a victory.
No one is leaving here with any great joy here.
Our team coverage of the Corasanti verdict begins right now.
For nearly 11 months, Western New York has been eagerly awaiting the jury's decision. Would they find local Dr. James Corasanti guilty or not for hitting and killing a young woman with his car?
Tonight, we finally have that decision. After 2 days and 14 hours of deliberations, jurors came back with not guilty verdicts on vehicular manslaughter, leaving the scene and tampering with evidence. He was found guilty, however, of a misdemeanor DWI charge.
Tonight, our team coverage includes reports from court and the accident scene with reaction to the verdict and what people across the area are saying about what happened tonight.
Let's begin this evening with Claudine Ewing with comments from the prosecution and the defense. Claudine?
Well, Scott and Mary Alice, for over a month, the jurors heard testimony about one man and one young girl. And while tragic, really, on both sides, tonight, Dr. James Corasanti is clear in a trial that made headlines for weeks.
Dr. James Corasanti left the courthouse with family and friends minutes after he was acquitted of every felony. After the verdict was read, he was overcome with raw emotion and crying.
His head dropped to the table. He got up and hugged you. He hugged the other attorneys. What did he say?
Thank you for being my friend.
Attorney Tom Burton was also the first person Dr. Corasanti called after the accident. Despite the verdict that cleared the doctor of leaving the scene of an accident after striking and killing 18-year-old Alex Rice, Burton said there are no winners.
We believe the jury understood this to what it was, a tragic, horrible accident.
Defense attorney Joel Daniel says Corasanti wants to return to his job of helping people, but tonight it's about the verdict.
The jury came up with the right result.
Meanwhile, the mood was different for prosecutors. DA Frank Sedita was in the courtroom when the verdict was read.
The DWI, they found him guilty on that charge. I know you can't read the minds of jurors. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it appears to me that they credited the testimony of Dr. Corasanti. They bought it hook, line, and sinker.
He believes the jurors totally bought Corasanti's testimony that it was an accident.
Was it shocking to you that they found him not guilty of all the counts, or at least they didn't get him on manslaughter in the second degree? Not something?
I was surprised that they didn't come back with a manslaughter count, but I was shocked that they didn't come back guilty on leaving the scene. To my mind, that was the strongest count of the indictment.
Money was an issue in this trial. The doctor, a medical specialist, and he had some of the best defense lawyers in the area.
$400,000 plus salary, high-priced attorneys, money talks, and now he walks.
I hope people don't say that. I mean, you know, because if that's true, that means you can buy a verdict, you can purchase justice or injustice, however you want to characterize it in the criminal justice system. I think it's fair to say that if you have more financial resources at your disposal, your defense will be more vigorous.
Well, no juror spoke tonight, and we should also mention that Dr. Corasanti will be sentenced in August for DWI. He faces up to 1 year in jail. Keep in mind, if he had been convicted of all of the charges, he would have faced up to 23 years in jail. The DA says he is also going to consider whether or not to retry him on the one charge that the jury was deadlocked on. Live outside of Erie County Court, Claudine Ewing, Channel 2 News Tonight.
Defense attorney Tom Iowano is here tonight to take a closer look at the trial and the verdict.
Tom, District Attorney Frank Sedita said this was the most shocking verdict ever.
What went through your mind when you heard the news tonight?
What went through my mind, Scott, was that it was a shocking verdict
based on everything we heard in the media, everything we read in the newspapers, and those types of things. But what went on in the courtroom obviously swayed that jury, and I am not surprised, quite frankly, at the verdict. What goes on in the courtroom is 180% different than what we read about in the public sometimes.
Tom, let's talk about Dr. Corasanti as a witness. Do you feel he was really a big, compelling part of the case?
Dr. Corasanti won this case. For him to be acquitted of all the counts except the DWI, the jury must have believed him 100%. Yes, Dr. Corasanti was the entire case.
Now, let me ask you, what about the car itself? Why wasn't the damage and the fact that he was drinking enough to convict him on at least one of those charges?
Scott, because obviously the jurors felt that Miss Rice was partially at fault. The law is very technical. They didn't believe that alcohol had anything to do with the accident, and they didn't believe that texting and speeding had anything to do with the accident.
I want to ask you to critique for a moment, the prosecution in particular. Where do you feel they slipped up, if at any point?
I don't know that the prosecution slipped up as much as it was the nature of the case. There was no smoking gun here. There was no admission. This was a tough case going in on the law, and again, Dr. Corasanti carried the day.
Tom, he was found guilty on one charge, common law DWI. Tell me about that and what kind of penalty that might be.
Common law DWI is an unclassified misdemeanor. He can receive up to 1 year in jail, and I can assure you that family in the DA's office will be screaming for that year to Judge DiTullio.
Well, speaking of the DA's office, do you think there might be some political fallout? This is a pretty big loss for the DA.
I think the public thought he was overwhelmingly guilty, and some people will blame the district attorney's office. That actually, again, is not fair. It's the nature of the case, it's what went on in that courtroom, and it's the way that Dr. Corasanti testified that carried the day. Not the experts, not any fault of the DA. It was Dr. Corasanti himself.
Tom, one quick last question. Social media has blown up tonight, Facebook and Twitter. A lot of people are angry. They say that people can buy their way out of problems like this. What's your take on that?
You know, that cuts both ways, Scott. A lot of people don't like doctors. A lot of people don't like celebrities. The prosecution played on that he was a rich fellow, and that is actually not the case at all. Social media will blow up, but 12 jurors in the courtroom spoke loud and clear today that he was not guilty.
Defense attorney Tom Iowanu, thanks for sharing your insight tonight and actually during the entire trial. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now on to the reaction of those who were close to the victim in this deadly accident, 18-year-old Alex Rice.
Her family did not speak after tonight's verdict. Join Your Side's Michael Wooten is outside court in downtown tonight with more on their emotional reaction when the verdict was read tonight. Michael?
Yeah, Scott, Mary Alice, we did not get a chance to speak with the Rice family as they left court here tonight after this verdict, but we know the father, Richard Rice, is devastated tonight. Alex was his only child. She was a vibrant, outgoing, bright 18-year-old killed in these most tragic of circumstances, and by all accounts, the family was unprepared for the verdict that they heard just a few short hours ago.
Alex Rice's family left the courthouse shocked, saddened, speechless. They had previously planned to talk to the media after the verdict, but this verdict is one for which they had not prepared, not guilty on every felony count. As the jury foreman read the verdicts, hands shaking, Alex's family sat silently in the front row, with one exception. Her stepfather, overcome with grief, uttered an obscenity toward the jury box and was promptly escorted out of the courtroom. The justice they had sought for a life cut tragically short would not come on this day.
What I would say to the Alex Rice family is that I'm sorry. I wish the verdict would have been different, but I hope you understand, and I hope you believe that we tried the case as well as we could, as hard as we could, as professional as we could.
Alex is most remembered for her smile, her personality, her kindness. She was on her longboard along Heim Road when she was hit and killed last year. Every day in court, her father would stare in anger at the man behind the wheel. But today, as the not guilty verdicts came in, he looked forward, disbelief and disgust. The loss in the courtroom, nothing compared to the loss of his daughter.
Our Kevin O'Neill has been speaking with Alex's father for some time now. They actually had a 20-minute conversation by phone tonight after this verdict, and Kevin posted on his Facebook page tonight that Richard Rice said he is devastated by this verdict. He says he wanted to thank everyone for their love and support, and he said he hopes that this verdict does not reflect the values of Western New York. More than 1,000 people have liked that comment since Kevin put that on his Facebook page earlier tonight. Another place where many people are reflecting tonight on this verdict and the shock and sadness among many people who knew the victim is along Heim Road, where this happened last year, and our Melissa Holmes continues our coverage from there now. Melissa?
Well, Michael, it is very peaceful here tonight. There were just three friends here paying their respects to Alex Rice, but the candles are burning and it's very peaceful here at this memorial at Heim Road. But earlier tonight, a very emotional scene as dozens of people showed up, some angry, showing signs that we frankly can't show you, but very uplifting messages too, like this one here. Justice comes from the people around you who love you. Love always did. Love you always did, from Amy there. So very uplifting messages written here tonight. But the overall messages here tonight, sadness and shock.
Alex was a completely magnificent person.
This makeshift memorial with flowers and candles and figurines has stood on Heim Road since the crash that claimed the life of Alex Rice last July. Now it's growing much larger.
Justice was not served because she's one of the few people who could actually make a difference in the world, no matter how cloudy and gray it may seem.
Dozens of friends and neighbors stopped by the crash site to pay their respects to Alex and her family. They say their hearts hurt for them when word of the verdict spread.
I covered my nose and my mouth and sat there at my dining room table and cried. That's all there really is to do. There's no words to express how I feel about the whole thing.
Many said they just didn't see this coming. They used words like flabbergasted, sickened, and shocked. And they said it makes them question the judicial system.
And I don't want to criticize the jury for their decision. I'm sure they have reasons why they unanimously decided this. Maybe evidence that the public wasn't aware of, or, but from everything you can see in the papers, it seems a little shocking.
I feel that justice has not been served, that her memory is being disgraced because of this.
And some who came here to the crash scene tonight also referenced things that they heard in the trial, like Alex was in the fog lane, or referencing how dark or how light the road may have been. And they just questioned what the jury may have been thinking. And some just kept on saying over and over again, they got it wrong, they got it wrong. And of course, this will be a very busy place, as some will be returning tomorrow. They promise they will be back, and this will always be a place where they will remember Alex Rice, and they'll be praying for her and praying for her family. Reporting live in Amherst, Melissa Holmes, Channel 2 News Tonight.
All right, Melissa, thank you. And those of you who follow us on Facebook and Twitter have an awful lot to say about tonight's verdict.
Our Facebook page was full of comments right after it was announced. Among them, Carly wrote, "This is an outrage. What does this say for our legal system? I feel so bad for the Rice family."
Robert wrote in, "No justice for Alex. Why is it always the victim who suffers? It's always someone else's fault." Linda wrote in, "To the Rice family, we all know that he is guilty, and we are all sorry for what you had to endure because of this man's irresponsible actions."
And take a look at this. This is what the topics trending around Western New York look like according to trendsmap.com. Most of them were Corasanti related. Keywords like Corasanti, verdict, jury, and courtroom all were terms in Western New Yorkers' tweets tonight.
And you know, the same passionate response that we found on social media tonight was also present outside the courtroom.
Here are some of the comments we got from people, including one woman who sought us out outside the court when she heard about the verdict.
I just went to the marina and was relaxing, and on my way home, and they told me they had a verdict, and I asked them what it was, and when I walked out, I couldn't even walk up. I couldn't believe what they were telling me. It's an embarrassment.
I think it's kind of a raw deal that he got away with murder, essentially.
You got a young girl, you know, that had the rest of her life to live, and now, you know, her parents got to deal with this the rest of their lives. I mean, what amount of money is going to fix this? You know, it's a sad situation all around.
Our coverage of this verdict and the case continues on WGRZ.com right now.
There you'll find analysis and all of our reports from tonight. We'll have more over the next few days as Western New York continues to react to this verdict. And we'll be right back with Kevin's forecast. Stay with us.
Another beautiful day in Western New York today.
Oh, we've had
Sunny
some
and warm.
beautiful sunshine, the past few days, and it was nice today, just as Kevin had predicted. A little bit of a break from the humidity, my hair straighter. Love that.
Good hair day.
And a lot of people are a little bit more relieved that some of us are getting a little break from the watery eyes and the runny noses and a lot of the allergies that we've had to deal with, certainly, over the past couple of days. So what's in store for us as we say goodbye to May and welcome in June? Well, our final day of May is going to be a sunny one. We'll be looking for a high tomorrow right around 66. Yeah, it will be cooler than today, but it will also be definitely cooler than normal, which is right around 71. And you can see we're probably not even going to hit that number until possibly on Monday. Some rain showers possible for Friday and Saturday. Could see a soaking rain at least early on Friday, and I'll show you in just a moment some of the activity we're looking at on the Doppler tonight to kind of give you that feel. Now, temperature-wise around the country, our high today was 75, and as we pull back and take a look at the big view, there is some cooler air off to the north and the west, and that's really going to be the area that's going to be flowing into Western New York certainly over the next couple of days. So that's going to be the real change we're going to be seeing. Let's take a quick look at that radar screen, because two systems. You remember Burl, a couple of days ago we were talking about the tropical storm? Well, that system again moving up the Atlantic coast tonight. A little piece of that energy could combine with this system that's moving across the Midwest. Now, that's the area of rain that will be coming in here on Friday. I think tomorrow certainly high pressure is going to give us absolutely beautiful weather. And as far as temperatures have gone for the month of May, I know we have one day left. Take a look at this. Every number red on the screen is indicating temperatures at or above normal for the highs. We even had a record, of course, you'll remember last Friday. So we've only had 3 days so far that we've been below normal, but there's probably a pretty good chance when we fill in that square tomorrow that we're probably going to have a blue number in there. So 4 days out of 31, not too bad. Future look, let's take a look, because we've got generally clear skies around much of Western New York tonight. That's the way we're going to begin tomorrow morning. We'll see Andy in the morning on the Daybreak Show, and we'll start with sunny conditions and keep them that way for the better part of the day. Now, later on tomorrow night, that system from the Midwest is going to start working its way into Western New York. We'll start with the clouds, and certainly by daybreak on Friday morning, we're going to be dealing with some of those rain showers, maybe even a clap or two of thunder, and all of this energy is going to pass through during the better part of Friday. So looks like we've got some soggy weather on the way, and it's going to last into the beginning of Saturday as well. So get the umbrellas at the ready. We're going to need it, but the front lawns and the gardens are going to appreciate it. 66 degrees, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour on Thursday. Our Friday high will be 68, still below normal. East winds of 10 to 20 miles an hour. Festival season begins this weekend, and we've got the big Greek festival that's coming up, the Hellenic Festival at Delaware and Utica this coming weekend. Looks like the better of the 2 days will be Sunday. We'll be looking for 70s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. As we get up in the morning, we're going to see some sunny skies. It's going to be a chilly day. 53 at the bus stop. I'm going to give it an A, and we'll call it a cool start. If you need a forecast update anytime, of course, join us online at WGRZ.com or give us a call on the weather link. On this Wednesday night, it's lottery time. Let's go live to Schenectady.
Good evening, I'm Gretchen Dizer. Welcome to the Live Lotto and Take 5 drawings for Wednesday, May 30th, being observed by KPMG. The Lotto numbers to win or share jackpot of $12.5 million are 50, 10, 17, 30, 27, 23, and bonus number 44. Now for tonight's Take 5 drawing. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $12 million. 5 numbers are 22, 21, 35, 34, and 4. Congratulations to all our winners. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
And don't you dare forget, you can always get a complete list of the winning lottery numbers if you need it at our website, WGRZ.com. Time for our Facebook Fan of the Night. Why so serious? Come on, Andrew Williams, smile.
Yeah, you're borrowing a line from Stevie Johnson. Why so serious?
There you go. Andrew Williams, front and center. He's our Facebook fan of the night. If you want to become a fan of Two on Your Side, it's easy. Search WGRZ when you're on Facebook. Make sure you click the like icon right there at the top of the page. I'm not going to go as far to say we need the sweaters. We'll definitely need the umbrellas on Friday and Saturday, but a big shift this weekend, the first weekend of June, than it was for the final weekend of May.
A change is a coming.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Adam, some great Stanley Cup action tonight.
Finals off to a good start. Yeah, working overtime tonight. Kings and Devils game one. It's an LA story out of the gate. Stanley Cup Finals underway. Game one tonight here on Channel 2 and NBC. You just saw it here. Devils Kings from the Prudential Center in Newark, and the teams trade goals in the first couple of periods. LA on the board first off the forecheck. Jordan Nolan to Colin Fraser. It's 1-0. Then second period for New Jersey. Anton Volchenkov on the deflection gets credit. 1-1 Martin Brodeur stacking the pads on Drew Doughty. Look at this save right here. Incredible. We go to overtime, and in OT, Andrzej Kopitar in alone on Brodeur, who cannot get the right pad down in time. Kings take a 1-0 series lead with a 2-1 overtime win. Game 2 Saturday night here on Channel 2. Bills have released their training camp dates for this summer. It's going to open at St. John Fisher College in Pittsford Thursday, July the 26th, run through August the 14th. Among the highlights, the 4 night practices, which have become popular over the years. The full schedule is posted for you at WGRZ.com. As for what's going on right now, these are the voluntary OTAs, stands for Organized Team Activity. The new additions like the defensive ends, Mario Williams and Mark Anderson standing out. First-round draft pick Stephon Gilmore's looked impressive as he now works in with the veterans, and head coach Chan Gailey says, so far so good.
It felt bigger on the field. It felt quick on the field. We got a lot of work to do, but initial observations were good.
And the Bills with 9 more OTA practices starting with tomorrow's. Bisons tonight, a third straight win over Columbus, 3-2. The final Buffalo scored on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 10th inning. High school lacrosse tonight. Section 6 finals, Class B. It's Hamburg and Niagara Wheatfield. The Falcons pulled off a stunning upset. In last year's final, the Bulldogs get revenge tonight. Max Maxwell, 2 goals and 5 assists as Hamburg rolls 15-7, their 5th title the last 6 years. Class C championship, defending champ Silver Creek facing Akron. The Tigers kept it close for a half, but the Black Knights just too strong. Zed Williams, what a player he is. 5 goals and a season-high 11 assists in the game. Silver Creek wins 29-15 for their 4th straight Section 6 title. Class A game, big rematch between Clarence and Orchard Park. Red Devils ended OP's 16-year reign as Section 6 champ last year. Tonight, the Quakers take the title back. Austin Goltz with a goal there, and Orchard Park wins it 10-8. The final. More coverage as always at WNY.highschoolsports.com.
All right, Adam, a tough start for the New Jersey Devils tonight, right?
Very competitive game, but overtime, and Kopitar gets a break and makes him pay for it.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Recapping tonight's verdict in the Corasanti case, jurors came back with not guilty verdicts on vehicular manslaughter, leaving the scene and tampering with evidence.
The doctor was found guilty of a misdemeanor DWI charge. For more coverage and analysis, go to WGRZ.com and tune in to Daybreak tomorrow starting at 5 a.m.
Let's get a final check on the weather with Kevin.
Why don't we take a look at that Daybreak forecast once again, because we're going to wake up tomorrow a little on the chilly side, 53. We're only going to get into the 60s tomorrow, so things again are going to be on the cooler side. We'll give it a grade of an A with some sunshine. Looking forward to the weekend. I think at this point Sunday will probably be the nicer of the 2 days, but go get some baklava.
Yeah, we'll plan picnics and things accordingly.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us for Channel 2 News today.
Have a great night.